Hello and welcome to CVG Off the Record podcast. In this episode, we talk about the brand new Vita Slim, and Andy surprises us with one in the podcast, so have a listen to that. We talk about Gears being bought by Microsoft, and we talk about your biggest gaming disappointments. That's what we got coming up.
Hello and welcome to the CVG Off the Record podcast. My name is Tamoor Hussain and I am joined in the studio by Andy Robinson.
Hello.
Chris Scullion.
Hello.
And Gav Murphy.
All right.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Good.
Splendid.
That's not enough enthusiasm.
It speaks for us all. It speaks for us all.
You need
It's
to warm us
all
up.
right.
Warm us up with something. Warm us up with like a few jokes or something. Come on.
A little jingle.
I don't have any.
Well, you just
I
come
don't
back
have
from
any
Miami
jokes. I came back from Miami. I kind of
around the same time that Bieber was going
Oh yeah, that
batshit
was
crazy.
right
Yeah.
outside my hotel the entire time.
I can't believe you didn't do any selfies with some cops or something like that.
Do you know what? I thought about
Bieber
it.
arresting cops. What's wrong
I
with
thought
you?
about it, but like,
Didn't
If
the guy who arrested the cop that arrested Bieber, didn't he get like a round of applause?
Really?
I've seen photos of him like just getting absolutely praised in the street.
Yeah.
He looks like overjoyed.
It really annoys me, like people getting on Bieber's case and stuff like that. He's
are you a
fucking
believer?
dude's living the dream. Like he's got loads of money, loads of chicks after
I
him,
think
and
the
he can
point
get away
wa-
with drug driving.
I think the point when he starts
That's a
to,
dream right there.
I think he's like, you know, delusional 14-year-old fanboy is more annoying than him. Like,
Yeah, completely, yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, when he starts to encroach on your territory,
Yeah.
and where you can't take things like, say, if you're at like an award ceremony and he's winning everything purely just because he's popular, that's when it becomes annoying. It's like same with the Grammys the other day.
Yeah.
Grammys were the other day, and the winner for best rap album was Macklemore,
Yeah.
which is absolute
I
bullshit.
mean, you'll be on Twitter and you'll be like, I wonder what Justin Bieber thinks of Obamacare.
It was
Well,
the Anne Frank thing that did it for me. See, once you start
That's funny.
spouting off about Anne, it gets personal.
I thought it was amusing when he spat on his fans, and they were like, "Yes, give us more."
Well, what did
More-
are you like to talk about what you saw in
I
Miami?
cannot talk about what I saw in Miami
Was it
yet.
Will Smith?
Really?
I was
Yeah.
about to go off on one about Justin Bieber there. We've moved on.
Go.
No,
Go
that's
for it.
right. It's done. It's
Oh.
moved on. I was going to make it serious.
But yeah, I thought at the time, I thought if I walk up to a cop and I was like selfie, immediately getting shot.
Well, you got detained at the airport, right?
Yeah, I got detained in the airport, and I was telling Andy this yesterday. Like the U.S. government have
They
a
just hate you.
deep and complicated file on me now. It's like
Really?
every time I go there, it's a different aspect of my life.
They've
want
basically
they
got a
want
map
information.
of Tamoor's
They
arse.
have an
Holy
like,
shit, man.
because the first time I was telling the other guys, like first time I went, it was about me personally. So there was like an hour and a half long
Well, he just hated you.
interview about my life, start to finish.
What's your favourite colour?
Second time I went,
It's like a shit Forrest Gump.
second time I went, it was about the job, and now they've got a lot of information. This last time I went to Miami,
Cats.
they wanted to know about my
People.
mum, my dad, my brothers, and my sister, and they were like detailed information.
How are they when
about
they?
it.
How are they when they question you? Like, are they like, oh, you know? Because I assume do they still do the you've been selected for a random check?
Yeah.
But
They do
you
that.
like you're the only Asian in the like queue,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they just
yeah.
go, yeah, dude,
And
random
there's
check.
one Mexican guy who looks mega shady as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But what are they like? What's their attitude like? Because this is quite fascinating. Like, what's the attitude? Because like, obviously, you're going over there to see a game. Like, you're obviously like that's a really weird cover story.
Yeah.
Like, but then that's probably why they pull you to a side, I guess. They
Well,
ask you what game, and you're like, oh, it's under embargo. They're like,
I've had so many. Like, I remember I went over there and one of the PR guys I was with was getting. They always grill you, like you know what they're like.
Yeah.
They're like bloody Nazi
yeah.
immigration desk staff. And they were grilling this PR. I think he worked for THQ at the time, and I remember they actually asked him, "All right, so how'd you make a game?"
Nice.
He had to tell them, well, you've got like
THQ
art
don't know.
staff and like writers, and he's
Yeah.
going through it in detail. And the guy's like, I think I'm in too deep here. let him through.
You should have said I'm going to see a game. So what game? Papers, please.
Yeah.
the thing is, when they
in a
talk to
in
you,
a thing.
every single one of them, I'm sure Americans are by and large nice people, like to the point where I find them suspiciously.
You have to say- you have to
Americans
say that.
who work in immigration
but
are
yeah,
not nice
they are
people.
not nice.
It's their job, though, isn't it?
They've got that like.
No, they are.
could
I
give a
think they're
shit.
actually just like they've had bumps on the head.
Yeah.
I hope none of them listen to this podcast because I'm going to have to go to America soon.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, they're just like absolute jobs
Yeah,
worth.
even when they're trying to be engaging you, it's like they have no soul. Because
Okay.
like one guy I spoke to, he was like, "Oh, what do you do?" I had to speak to 3-4 different people, repeating the same stuff as well. And he's like, "What do you do?" I told him, I work in games, write about games. And then he looked at me, completely dead eyes, like he couldn't see a soul. And he goes, "You like that Batman game?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love that Batman game." And then he turned away from me, like still dead eyes, put his hand, rummaged in his bag, pulled out a little toy of Batman. He goes, "I got that Batman toy." His eyes are dead the entire time. I thought,
That's
wow.
amazing.
And then after
This
that, he
is
went,
like-
so anyway, go take this red card and go to the interrogation room.
Yeah.
And then I was like, after that, I was trying to be like, I thought this is my in. I know about
I'm in.
Batman.
Yeah.
I am sorted. And I started like talking about rumors about what could be happening. Oh, I heard that it's going to be a next gen
Yeah.
version and it's going to be like Golden Age. No, he's not having it. The conversation ended once he showed me his Batman toy.
The first time
That was
the
it.
first time I went to New York with my family, my brother's got dreadlocks, and the guard said to my brother, "Are you a real Rastafarian?" And he went, "No." And he went, "Yeah, I didn't think so. Welcome to New York." Right? Jesus Christ.
All right. Cheers.
I hate you. Welcome to New York.
All right,
But
let's
you
get
can't
back.
you can't talk about what you've seen. But what can we talk about?
We can talk about a
Games.
lot of things that have been happening. Nintendo's been the hot topic recently.
Again.
Things are happening. Iwata is speaking, and people are like,
So he's taking a
"Oh,
pay cut, and
shit."
so have
Yeah,
loads
that's
of
the big
the
thing.
people.
So Iwata's taking a 50% pay cut. This is a very Japanese thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Breaking pay cut news.
Pay cut news. But no, this is like just it's just an idea of kind of the Japanese style of falling on your sword for your company.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like he's
I
taking.
think that's an image thing, isn't it? I imagine that in
Yeah.
their executive culture, he has to be seen to be doing that.
In fairness, like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's a really amazing thing." The dude doesn't care, doesn't worry about money. Like,
Yeah.
when was the last time he had to worry about money? Like taking a pay cut, he's just like, "Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, it literally
Yeah.
won't affect me."
Yeah.
So
Well,
well
it's-
done. But it's a really cool thing that he's done. I'm not saying taking away
that's
from
cool.
that.
But they've also talked about their future a lot
Okay.
more now. The big thing was the Mario Kart's got a release date now.
I don't think they said anything.
Well, they said a
It's
bunch.
like, tell us your radical new
Yeah,
plan, Iwata.
Mario Kart.
I think the second paragraph in his investor meeting was something like, just so you know, we're not going to change.
Yeah.
So then it's a Mario Kart release date, and you'll be able to boot up Wii U faster.
Those are the concrete things, and the rest of the stuff was like,
Sweet.
maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that, maybe we'll.
But they've said they're going to put aside a small development team of like a few guys to make to do smartphone stuff. But instantly, but for years people have been saying Nintendo needs to do smartphone stuff and Nintendo needs to make smartphone games. And Iwata came out and said, "Just so you know, we're not making smartphone games." He specifically the quote from him saying,
we're not putting Mario.
if you say we are putting Mario on smartphones, you are wrong in saying this." And people are still saying, yeah, they're making smartphone games now. We knew it. It's not. It's going to be.
Sony and Microsoft don't make smartphone
Yeah,
games,
exactly.
right? Well, unless it's Microsoft pushing
It'll
their
be
own mobile
at the
platform.
What was that
very
Halo
most.
game? That was
Yeah,
shit,
it's
Yeah.
a Windows thing.
At the very most, he says they've got a development team of a few people that it's up to them to decide how to push Nintendo on smartphone, and if they want, they can make small games.
They're
if they
making
want.
a Me Plaza app.
Yeah, and what you'll end up at the
Excellent.
very most,
Not for
it'll be
that.
like that Knack app where it'll be a crappy match 3 puzzle game, and at the end it'll say, "Oh, well done, you've matched Pikachu's fucking pals. Here's a Master Ball that you can now use in Pokemon. Go and fucking buy Pokemon and use that." And that's the extent
This is genius.
it'll get to.
I'd love
So,
to have
yeah.
Street Pass. I'd love to have if they were making like a Street Pass thing for my phone. That would just be amazing because I'm a huge advocate of all those Street Pass
Yeah,
games. I
if
think
they
they're
had
brilliant.
the ability to collect up people, but you can never do anything with them until you tie them to a 3DS.
Yeah,
Well, they
That's
should
it.
bring a Street Pass to Wii U with mobile devices.
But how can you do that?
Well, if
Oh,
walk
as in, like,
about
so
Wii U-
you-
when
oh,
you
right,
walk
yeah,
about
yeah,
in the
that's a good
day
idea.
and you collect people, and then you go back and turn
I
your
want
Wii U
that.
on.
Because that's the thing. I do love the Vita, and I do I went on last podcast about how much I love the Vita. But for me, it doesn't have like for 3DS. There's a reason for me to go on it every single day because you see that little green light pop up and you go, okay, cool, got Street Passes. And now I'm getting like at least 10 a day. With Vita, I don't get that.
The software lineup on 3DS is incredible.
Exactly, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. I go for Street Pass, and then I go, oh, while I'm on the 3DS, I think, I'll just boot up Zelda again. Like, I don't know, it gives you a reason to go to the console, and I think that's amazing. Like, and I just don't have that with a Vita at the moment.
That's
I just
one of the
go-
things that the other machines are lacking. Is Nintendo's machines have got more personality, right?
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Like it's just so many little touches on Wii U.
Yeah.
Just using Wii U why it's fun. Like I say all the time, I always use Wii U chat to speak to our guys in America, and it's like I could use Skype, but that doesn't like play piano music when I wave goodbye and slowly fade out to ripples.
Yeah, the 3DS stuff. I got bored of the Street Pass stuff a little while back. So Quest.
Have you got the new games though?
And I haven't got any of the new games.
The new games are good.
But what I love is
Battle and Mansion. Are awesome.
all that stuff still figures into the like main games that you're playing. Like Bravely Default is what I'm playing at the moment. And the beginning of the game, your main character's home gets wiped out, and so there's a mini game where you've got to rebuild the entire town.
Okay.
And how that works is like you collect up street passes. It gives you a map and says you've got shops here, you've got these shops, you've got this area which you need to reclaim. And then you assign street pass people to an item. Like for example, if there's an item shop, I put a street pass person on that. It will tell you you've got 3 hours until this is rebuilt.
Cool.
And if I've got multiple street passes,
that's awesome.
I can put like 3 people on there, and it will tell you now this is going to take 45 minutes. So if you keep collecting up street passes, you can just upgrade these shops over and over again.
That's amazing.
It's quicker. It's so good. I've played that part of the game.
Yeah.
I went on a trip, and the entire time I didn't actually play the main game. I just had that constantly going.
Yeah.
So I was,
wow.
and by the time I got back, I had reclaimed most of my town and upgraded them to level 4 or 5. It's just a brilliant way to do it.
Awesome.
Yeah, we need more of
that.
that.
Sounds really good.
Animal Crossing was a good way of using it as well. I mean, that kind of went without saying that it was going to work well,
really
but
did
it's fine that if you got like properly obsessed, like I did, with trying to collect as much furniture as you could visit other people's houses and not only see how their houses are laid out, but also order stuff that's in their house.
Oh yeah, that was
catalog.
pretty cool.
That was really clever.
Yeah.
So Mario Kart 8 has a release date.
What's the release date?
The release date is
May
8th.
May
8th. And then what I say is that price cut for Wii U is not an option.
Is the release date May 8th?
Yeah.
Is that just for my birthday?
Nice.
Sweet.
Perfect.
That's
going to
be a rock and roll birthday.
So Wii U price cut is not an option.
Wait, they have cut it though. Oh, Amazon.
Well, they haven't cut it.
Okay,
Everyone else has cut it, which kind of like is
Amazon selling like the premium pack for like £200 or something.
The
like
one
that
that interests
169 wasn't it?
Yeah,
170,
the one that interests me is they say that they're going to extend their licensing
I saw that
options, so they're no longer going to say to people, no, you can't use our characters, fuck off. They're going to have negotiations, which I'm hoping will eventually mean a new like Mario cartoon, Zelda comics, all this kind of stuff that in the future that could be
so it's companies eager to use the IP, but it seems like they were trying to say outside of gaming, not a trend.
Okay,
it's not like someone's going to.
Yeah,
I
can't see them going, hey, Western company, have Mario. Can't see that.
Of course not. Yeah.
Mario teaches typing too.
I mean, their history is littered with stories of that not happening. I mean, the whole point of there's a story about how Mario 64 was spun off of a Yoshi game made by Argonaut, like they're the guys who did Star Fox, and they went and made it was Croc. It was what became Croc. Croc was a Yoshi game, and Nintendo was so insulted that they used Yoshi to make a prototype. Just told them to clear off, and then quietly, allegedly, nicked some of their ideas from Mario 64.
Nice.
I tell you, I'm saying it now. Marvel Comics Legend of Zelda series.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
That would be good. Actually,
I think
Image Comics.
Mario will be the Mario will be like the main character in the new Wreck-It Ralph, because they're bound to make a new Wreck-It Ralph. And like he wasn't in the other one, and it was kind of weird that he wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So that's actually true. Yeah,
I really enjoyed that film.
Yeah, it was good.
That was a good
I hated
film.
it.
It was
I
really
absolutely hated it. Yeah. I just thought it didn't have any heart. And like, I remember going to see a preview of it, and there was some Guardian journalist sitting next to me, and he asked the producer, he said, well, I don't play games, so if is this film going to go completely over my head? And the producer said something which I thought was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He said, take the video games out of this. This could be a film about anything. And I was like, that's not a good thing. And when I watched it, I was like, this could be anything. Like, they had that little bit where you had a couple of cameos. That was awesome. And then it was like the Candy Crush, wherever the fuck world. Mario Kart shit.
You're gonna get
Candy
sued to
World.
shit right now.
I was like, shit. That was rubbish. I just thought this could be anything. This could be cars.
That,
It was a shame it wasn't like Green
it's-
Hill Zone and stuff like that.
Exactly,
The first third of the film was awesome. Game nostalgia.
It's brilliant, yeah.
And then it's like, right, well, we're going to spend the rest of the film in generic Candy.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
least
that-
interesting part of this film, and it takes place in
I-
all of it. It was
I
like,
really enjoyed the bad guy. The little white
Yeah, he's pretty
suit
cool.
racer. That's the only thing I like. I love that.
When he glitches
that character,
out.
the
But it could
Yeah.
and
that-
his
you're
origin
right.
story and who he.
oh yeah, that is
Yeah.
really, really good.
That was cool. That's what I enjoyed
Yeah.
about it.
If you cut the first third off, that film could be about anything, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that the producer was saying is like a thing of pride. Like, could be about anything. Could like take the games out of it. No, like if you take the toys out of Toy Story, you haven't got anything. Take the games out of that, could have easily been something else.
Still like to know.
So other things, Nintendo related, Wii U firmware update to add fast startup menu.
Are we still talking about Nintendo?
Yeah, just pack it in.
Nintendo,
They're all right.
Nintendo moving into
No.
health expansion.
Something else. Come
Here's
on.
the thing: they still made net profit, didn't they? Despite all the doom and
I
gloom
couldn't give a
stuff.
shit. Let's talk about something else.
I'm just
Boring.
saying.
What's the next thing?
One last thing. on
No,
Nintendo.
fuck off.
DS games coming to Wii U Virtual Console.
I couldn't give a shit.
All right. After that, it's
What's that? That is actually
Advance Wars,
interesting. Yeah,
after that,
is
Microsoft
interesting.
acquired the rights to
Yes.
Gears of
There we go.
War. Do you even care about
See,
Gears of
couldn't
War?
give-
I can see your
couldn't give
fake
an eighth of a shit.
I just don't want to talk about Nintendo
for
anymore.
Gears of War. Yeah.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
It's only been in development for a week, though, supposedly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no,
Really?
genuinely. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Rod Ferguson, who's heading it up, he
Yeah.
was working for 2K
2K.
like a month ago.
Yeah.
So the studio that they've given it to was working on a new IP.
Yeah.
And he had his own studio, didn't he?
Yeah.
well, that
2K, so-
one clearly went down the shitter,
Yeah.
didn't it?
And that was
Um,
fairly recently established as well.
Yeah.
So,
You can see why. I think I saw a tweet from John Hicks on Official X saying, well, that's why Rob Ferguson never changed his Twitter handle from Gears Viking.
Oh man, we've got some awesome non-podcastable anecdotes
Oh, really?
about Rod Ferguson
Are you racist?
on various trips. No, they're not racist. I can tell part of it. There was one particular night. It was a Microsoft showcase when we went out to see Gears, and he demanded that we all have blue cocktails. And the waitress was a bit scared by that point. He said, "No, I don't care what it is. Just make sure it's blue." And we all had these just big absinthe, like sapphire,
Nice.
like bombs. He's
So,
a
yeah.
fun guy.
So Microsoft have bought that back. Oh, they bought it off Epic, and they put
What Epic doing? This is like
You know
that's
what?
the worrying thing.
I had
It's
a
good
little
news for Microsoft.
I had a
for
little knee
Epic,
jerk
yeah.
about it on Twitter. Probably, mistakenly.
Yeah.
It kind of does make a bit of sense. I did speak to Epic a little bit about it, and you can see their point of view that if they want to go off and do some new stuff, Gears is just this anchor
holding them
around
back,
their
yeah.
neck. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not as if look at Titanfall now.
Yeah.
Infinity Ward, there's no way they could have just gone, you know what, we're just going to stop Call of Duty for a bit and do some new stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's this rabid fan base for it, which will not accept. I mean, even Cliff Brzezinski said now in a blog he went out and said, the reason I'm doing new stuff is because people will not shut up asking me like about Gears. So I'm going to go and do something new.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll just be the Gears guy, right?
Yeah, but then it's not a bad guy to be. Like,
Well, no, but then look at, the history is littered with guys who are like that guy, like
Okay,
Yuji
yeah.
Naka, right? Bet he wish he did something different.
Yeah.
Sonic guy.
yeah, but Sonic is shit. Like, Gears is awesome.
Can we really get into this?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. As a huge Sonic fan, like I was a Sega kid, and I love Sonic to bits. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Sonic has
Yeah,
been
but I
shit
wouldn't say
for the
Sonic
longest
is shit.
time.
Gears is awesome. I would happily rather play a Sonic game over a Gears game.
The
any
problem
day.
with billion-dollar franchises like Halo and what Gears has become, working on Microsoft, is they become so formulaic, and Microsoft is terrified of breaking down those rules. Like, say, for example, with Halo 4, there's loads of stories about people leaving the development team because Microsoft wanted to make a far more conventional game than they had planned. You look at Gears, as it went on the 4 games, it was incredibly conventional. And a studio like Epic, you talk about whatever high-profile departures they've had. They're full of talent and they want to do some cool shit.
I quite
I mean,
like
you
the
look at
story in
Fortnite
Gears,
as well,
man.
right? I mean, you probably don't know much about it, but you're going to love that game.
Yeah.
That game looks awesome. Like, zombie, cartoon, Left 4 Dead style wave shooter, but with Little Big Planet. During the day, you're building a fort, and then you go in there in the night when the zombies turn up and defend it.
Yeah,
It's
that
going to
sounds
be
awesome.
excellent. I'm
Yeah.
surprised it's not out.
Yeah.
So Microsoft has put Black Tusk to work on that game. This is a studio they founded a little while back, but we just didn't know what they were doing. So alongside,
Apparently, they were working on a game called Codename Shangheist.
and it's
Jesus.
this is according to
Sweet.
a strange Microsoft a poster on a forum.
Okay.
Claims
This is
be a
according
Microsoft
to a man on the street.
on the
Yeah.
internet who has a suspicious amount of information. Like he's
Who
got
is now
far too much.
being hunted down
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
Microsoft's black helicopters.
What did he say?
What?
The dude, what did he say?
Oh, he said a bunch of things. He said it was called Shanghai. He was the one who also said there's a white Xbox One coming out soon, a Titanfall version. He said Platinum Games are working on a game.
To be fair,
for
he seems to be the real deal.
Oh, really?
Several
Okay.
outlets, us and I believe it was The Verge in the US, have like independently backed up what he's saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we ran a story this morning. The Halo 2 anniversary stuff's like absolutely true.
Cool.
So it's either he got 2 very lucky guesses, or there's a PR department in Redmond pooing themselves.
Yeah, shitting themselves.
The Platinum Games are working
It does
on a
happen.
big
It
thing.
does happen. It seems a bit pie in the sky, and obviously all of the fakest of rumours are the ones that have too much detail. But it does happen. We've had cases in the past where, you know, I've known journalists to have documents fall into their laps, which are just like, here's everything we're bringing out in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Like the gold mine. It does happen. It's
What,
rare.
what do you think is the, like, because I never understand what the rationale behind him revealing the information is. Like, is it just for kudos on the internet?
Well, he
type
claims
thing?
it's he
Well,
claims
he
it-
claims
it's
Yeah.
just for
he
excitement.
just can't hold it in. I mean, to be fair, from his perspective, if he's working for Microsoft, and they're utterly getting shot on right now with all this resolution gate and Ps being lower than PS4, they're probably inside going like, oh, we want some good, buzz.
That
about it.
does happen as well. I
Yeah.
don't believe that that's what this is, but there is cases of Microsoft or other companies leaking stuff intentionally just to see the reaction,
Okay,
like
right.
stuff
Yeah.
that's
That's
in
fair
flux.
enough.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what that is. Perhaps
No.
it's a guy who works for a company that deals with them,
Yeah,
because they'll
yeah,
have all
yeah.
kinds of, satellite firms, whether it's
Okay,
in
yeah.
marketing
And
or
he just decided to. I worked with a guy who lost his job. I used to work at a sports company, and we used to get transfer news to put up on these official websites before we went onto the BBC. And a guy was like a huge Bristol City fan, and he got like some insider knowledge that was being posted up on this sort of like paid for content, and he was just taking all the paid for content and sticking it on a Bristol City just a forum, just going, hey lads, I've got this. He used his company email on the forum, and it was just taking information, going, hey guys, I work for this company, we've just had this information, how awesome am I? And like, he literally was just posting it up just so people would suck his dick on a forum. Like, it's absolutely
over
mad.
the internet.
Yeah,
Don't actually get any.
that dude lost his job, so
I don't get that at all.
No, I don't
I'm
think
probably
we should.
I'm probably the absolute opposite. I probably don't release enough information.
Yeah, it's
Gotta let your guard down, Andy. Gotta let your guard
I'm
down.
Kelly. We got this information, and I go, yeah, let's not release it until, and then somebody else leaks it, and you go, why are you doing this? I get like
Yeah.
properly angry.
I don't,
with
I
people.
don't
know
like
why.
spoiling the buzz. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I just want to see it erupt at once. I
Don't like
wanna be
harshing
the
people's
good-
buzz.
Yeah, I want to see the reaction.
But
when people find out.
it's the whole crossing into the games journalism zone.
Yeah, there's ethics
It's
behind it as
what
well.
man on the street thinks.
Okay.
News journalism is, right. Spilling information across
Yeah.
when.
Yeah.
From our point of view, it's just as much about building relationships and advising our coverage.
Yeah.
If we're going to create a trustworthy news source that people can be confident is reliable,
Yeah.
we need stuff like this in the background to have a clear understanding of what's correct and what isn't.
Yeah, cool.
It's not all about going, oh, they're bringing out this game, and then Microsoft's not speaking to you, and then your coverage is dampened. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, Black Tusk are working on Gears of War along with another game, maybe called Shanghai. Maybe not. Probably not, because that's a dumb
I
name.
hope John Woo's in it.
John Woo presents Shanghai.
Oh,
Stranglehold.
Stranglehold was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it though?
Yeah.
No.
What's next?
After that, we've got just confirmed the PlayStation Vita Slim will be coming to the UK, and it will replace the existing OLED model. It's going to cost 180 quid.
To be fair, they said
Around.
Yeah.
and obviously it being the UK, they don't set the RRP.
Yeah.
It's
So
worth
other
noting
people
that the current Vita gets sold for a lot less than that, and that's up to the retailers, right?
Yeah.
I can't, even if it does come in as like 179 or whatever, I can't see it being there for long.
No.
I've got-
How thin do you need your Vita to be? It's a
I've got a
pretty
surprise.
slim little thing.
What is it? You've got one.
I've got one, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
No way.
nice.
I'm going to get you to live unbox it.
Oh, sweet. Here we go. Yeah, I really like. Oh, sweet. I really like the current model, but I'm actually holding a Vita in my hand right now, and it's gonna be a unboxing. I have to very carefully.
I like this.
go into it.
Quite a visual thing for an audio-based
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
You can hear the box noises though,
You can hear
right?
the box noises.
Box equals confirmed.
I've. This has been out in Japan for a really long time.
Oh,
and
okay, right.
And yesterday I considered. I
Just
put
the
up-
screen's the deal breaker for me.
Yeah,
and
I-
everyone
I-
else,
yeah.
right?
I tweeted straight away that I'm getting one of those.
The new version has an LCD screen, whereas obviously
Okay.
the best thing about the
Yeah.
Vita is its beautiful OLED screen.
Yeah.
And the thing that annoys me a little bit is you get the feeling it's a cost-cutting measure, right? Despite the fact that clearly it's coming out at the same price, if not more. And it's just not going to be as good. I mean, that does look nice.
It looks
It looks
it
smoother.
feels nice. It's got the kind of rubbery material all over the back.
Plus, there's nothing quite
then-
like a fingerprint-proof Sony
Yeah.
device.
Is
which
it?
this won't be for.
no,
Is
it's
it?
glossy.
Oh no,
black.
it's not. I mean, it's just come out of the box, Gav.
Yeah.
This
It's
is.
not going to be fingerprint-proof after you
It feels
smear it.
just
Yeah, it looks
for
horrible
my hand.
now.
It's a tad
It already
too
looks
thin.
horrible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we've had it for out of the box for like 30 seconds, and it looks like it's just.
Gav's just put his dinner on it.
I just don't see the point.
It's well.
I get the
mean,
the point is that
It's
it's
cheaper
cheaper
for
to
them to
make. I
manufacture.
imagine.
Ah, okay.
Cynically, that's what you imagine.
Right.
Because I don't get
It's
it.
the shoulder buttons that I'm interested in because I've been playing Sonic Racing quite a lot, and it's the R button to go, and it's like making like you can see the kind of ridges on my fingers because I've been playing it that much. And those
Ridges
are a tiny
confirmed.
bit thicker, but not thick enough.
Wow, I
to
really
do-
like it. I think it feels nicer.
Yeah, I'm still probably gonna get one. I thought about it yesterday, and I
But
thought
the
Have you
screen
got a normal
must be
Vita?
I've got a
arse.
normal
And
Vita.
you're
Yeah.
still going to get one?
I'm probably
Has
gonna
it got-
still get
it'll
one.
have a charger in it,
Maniac. Why?
Just because I'll probably end up giving it to my younger brother after a while. But I just want some like an extra one to have about so I can play with multiplayer games like Monster Hunter and not Monster Hunter, but like other games that are in multiplayer.
Has it got a charger in it? To me, I can see the
It
screen.
does have a charger. For
No,
We're not really going to sit and
charger.
charge
No,
up
it
a
doesn't.
Vita,
Yeah,
are we,
No,
on
no,
our
not a
podcast?
charger. Like does
It
the
doesn't
battery
have
have
a
charge in it?
so unfortunately we can't turn it on.
Oh.
So anyway,
Oh,
that
no,
was
it
that
is.
was your
It's on.
live
on.
audio
It's on.
unboxing.
Yeah. Let's not dwell too much on describing
yeah,
what we can
so-
see on the
so-
video.
Yeah, I was just curious to see the screen for myself to see
Having
if
said
it's.
that, it actually looks quite good. It's not OLED, but
It's only because you
it
haven't
looks
got
quite
the
nice.
other normal
Next
beautiful
to
one
it,
next to
yeah.
it. In which case, we'd be throwing it out of a window in
Yeah.
disgrace.
yeah. So this is coming out on
A
February.
week tomorrow,
week tomorrow,
which is February the 7th, and that's UK only at the moment. It's not
Yep.
confirmed for North America, but you imagine that they can't be far off because they've stated that this version will replace the old version. So if you like your OLEDs,
Yeah,
go
get
shopping
one.
now.
grab one
Yeah,
now.
definitely.
Also,
Still
Damn.
quite cheap.
perhaps more cynically, if you like lovely eBay profit, go get one now.
Yeah, they're going to be hard to find. I think it looks quite nice, but yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
Should we just spend the rest of the podcast playing
Playing
PS
this
Vita?
game, yeah.
We pretty much
It's
it's
quite
become like
thin.
a Vita infomercial. I had like a 20-minute Vita, like how much I love
This is the PlayStation VR
Awesome.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
send us more.
but yeah. So there are a list of games that I have in front of me, which we can discuss briefly. But we're going to let Andy
Okay.
take care of that part of it because there are embargoes restricting us
I've just seen Octodad.
and other stuff.
That's
really?
it. That's all I want to talk
As
Yeah,
in
about.
we
you
can't
played
talk
it?
about that.
We
till
can't
this
talk about
afternoon, can
Octodad. Damn.
Mm,
Disappointing.
but there's stuff like
we? Well, so we're doing it, are we? You're segmenting over to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, well, it feels like behind the scenes, it feels like the gears are starting to move again. There's so many different press events that we've been to
Yeah.
or are going to in the next couple of weeks. There's got to be like 15 different press
Yeah.
events. We've although we can't talk about it, we've reviewed Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze already. We've reviewed Thief. We're going to play The Order. We're going to play Titanfall. You're going to play Dark Souls 2 this afternoon. We've got South Park coming into the office next week. We're going to play that. We're going to go and play Wolfenstein. I know Rob Crossley spent a lot of time with the new Turtle Rock game Evolve.
Yeah.
And that's just the stuff we can talk about. There's at least 3 or 4 in my head of like unannounced games that we're going to see soon. So it's an exciting time, but the lawyers say we can't really talk about it. Although I can talk about Donkey Kong a little bit. I'm playing Donkey Kong. We can talk about the early stuff without putting a score on it. Yes, the soundtrack's just utterly amazing. But with David Wise attached, who did all the old Donkey Kong Country games, who didn't think that would be the case. It's worth playing Like, just play it with your eyes closed.
But also, I was about to say, it's really beautiful. It's like, it's an amazing looking game. You can tell they've taken, like, for me, it reminded me of playing a little bit like Rayman Legends. It's got that sort of like really fun style, and there's loads of stuff going on in the background that, like, you'll miss if you're actually playing. Like,
To me, that's
I watched someone play.
To me, that's a little bit at odds with the original games. Like, the original games were a bit more subtle.
Yeah.
And a bit more, about atmosphere. Whereas these are a bit more crash bang wallop, and everything's like the ground's constantly falling from underneath you, and you have to like go from A to B.
I quite like that. Right. It's exciting.
Oh, but I'd like a few. I mean, obviously, I can talk about the early game, and certainly the first world is full on, intense. I would like a bit more. I'm hoping as I get further into the game, there's a few more levels, a bit more slower pace.
Well, that's
you
the
get
thing
stuff in like Donkey Kong Country games where you're like riding on the balloon, like through the volcano, beautiful looking volcano level, and like things like that, where you're just going through the jungle and that's like, those are the things that I think about when I think of the Donkey Kong Country games. Like
balloons.
The first level is genuinely David Wise made 3 different potential theme tunes for Donkey Kong Country. Sent them to Nintendo, and they went, "Why don't you just stick them all onto each other?" And that's the point I was trying to. I'm digressing to the point I was trying to make. The levels would change.
Yeah.
So you'll play that jungle level, and the sun had set while you're playing it, and the mood would change with the music, or you'll play the snow level, and then it starts slightly snowing, and then it'll blizzard and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Or it'll start raining in another jungle level. That's the kind of it. The originals were about atmosphere, whereas this seems to be more about flair and clout. Clout is the only word.
I really like it. It's not as hard as Donkey Kong Country Returns, which is good, because that was just.
It's still hard though.
It's still hard.
It's still hard.
It's more enjoyable hard. Like I found myself with a Wii version of Donkey Kong Country Returns, like slamming the controller, going, "I'm never going to play this game again."
I mean, I'm only playing the beginning of the game, obviously, and that's all we can talk about. So I don't know if it gets more difficult as you progress, but I mean, it's still I'm still using like 6 or 7 lives on some levels, especially if like I'm only on the first world, and you have to spend significant amount of time to find the collectibles on even the first level.
Yeah. Well. I'm looking forward to that.
Are we going to get a Metroid after this? Because I like Donkey Kong, but Retro really need to.
I was talking. So I was at this Sony press conference this morning, and there was a couple of trade journalists there, obviously, and they're all about the dollar. And they were talking about what Nintendo could possibly put into their lineup for next year. If you're thinking about the dollar, I mean, obviously this year Mario Kart's massive.
Yeah, Smash Bros is going to be
Smash Bros is going to be huge. The lesser games, stuff like Metroid, doesn't do that. Or even Zelda, it doesn't kind of do the sheer numbers.
A Metroid
that
those
titles do.
No.
So
Heartbreaking.
I mean, I don't want another Other M. Basically, if Retro's not doing it, I don't want it. I mean, that game made me a little bit sick in my mouth.
It made me all the way sick in my mouth.
It wasn't that bad.
No one listened to me. No one through the whole campaign. I was saying, as a huge Metroid fan, I was saying this game is a disgrace. Oh no, it looks alright. And then it came out. Oh yeah, it's rubbish.
I never finished that game. 2 hours in, I was like, this is absolute garbage.
Oh, man, it looks like they just signed up loads of people who'd never played a Metroid game, didn't understand it.
They signed up Team Ninja, so they played a Metroid game and just turned it into one of their own games.
Put some tits on it.
Yeah, they put some tits on it and made the girl like utterly useless.
Yeah, she's a bit emo as well.
Yeah, she's like asking the main guy for permission to use items that she's got on her.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Now, imagine a side-scrolling Metroid on Wii U that looks like Donkey Kong with that level of detail.
Oh my god.
That could work, man.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, the thing
Metroid's
that would
not really
concern
about that,
me,
though.
I mean,
the thing that I would like to see that. Now you said
Super
it,
Metroid.
but the thing that would concern me is the conversation we just had about Donkey Kong. Metroid again, it's about atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I just fear that if Retro were to go down that route,
No,
it would be.
But it's the route. But it's the route that
Bang!
makes.
Flare Metroid. Things are blowing up. Oh,
But it's
look,
the,
there's
it's
a
the
set
route,
piece with
but
a
it's the
spaceship
route that
coming
makes
down.
sense because you've got to imagine it would cost less to develop. It would be made quicker than another first-person one.
Yeah.
It's a way to please the
I'm assuming
Metroid
they've got
fans.
an engine.
Yeah, you would think it's a way to please the Metroid fans without costing a ton. I mean, it'll cost money, but
They can
to
totally
make
A
it
new
atmosphere.
2D Metroid in HD needs to look like something like Trine for me.
Yeah.
Utterly
Yeah.
gorgeous HD atmospheric side scroller.
That's a good idea.
And I don't think Nintendo's capable of that.
Yeah, but the people who made China.
Yeah, get them on board.
They're not.
What
getting
did I
it.
just say
Yeah.
about Retro and Metroid? If Retro's not doing it, not interested.
Doesn't
I
matter.
remember playing Other M. This is like like really, really early on with Fred Dutton, who used to work on Official Nintendo Magazine, because I was there to capture all the footage.
Yeah, I think I was at that event.
There was just me and him.
I don't think I was at that
event. And so we were capturing, taking this like at the time we had this huge PC capture thing. This was before like Delgados and stuff like that. And so we took this like massive capture unit all the way down to Windsor, and Nintendo were like, "Yeah, it's the final version." We were like, "Oh, sweet!" So we started playing through. And like Fred is decent at games. He's at Sony now, but so we were playing through, and he was like, after a while, he's like, "I don't know, I'm stuck. I don't know how to get this door open." And I was like, "Oh, well, you must have missed something." And he's like, "No, I haven't. Like, I used going around, and I took it off him, and I was like running around for ages." And we were just like, he was like, "Oh, we can't ask Nintendo like for tips or something." But and then they came in, they were just like, "Oh, guys, you've been on this bit for quite a long time. Like, you probably should be." And they were like
the PR super guide.
Yeah, we were just like, "Well, how'd you get on this bit?" And they were like, "Oh, actually, this is the furthest anyone's got." So then they spent like an hour with us as well, going around there, and we were just like, and then it was like, "Oh, this isn't the final build. This is like a preview build." And we thought we were playing like the review thing of it. So we spent about 6 hours looking for a way through this door. There was no way through the door. It didn't exist. Nothing existed beyond the door. And when we realized, like, everyone was just like so angry and pissed off at each other, but it was like, where do we direct this hate?
To the sky.
It was seriously about 6 hours. We even went back and started again. So Fred had done about 2-3 hours. It was properly early on, just after the first boss, and we even went back and started again because we were like, "You must have missed something." And nope.
I thought you were gonna tell like I thought that was gonna turn into like a Miiverse style anecdote of like, yeah, you just had to shoot a rocket at the door. Like,
no.
How does Metroid turn into ball?
I remember, didn't that game launch with a game-breaking bug where it'd corrupt all your saves and you had to send your console back before it started, otherwise shit would bad.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. There was a story about it. There was
everyone had to
send.
If it didn't happen to me, it didn't happen, basically. So
well, that leads us nicely on to our next segment, which is we're going to discuss our biggest disappointments in gaming. And I put the question out on Twitter, like, what are your biggest disappointment? One person did say Metroid Other M.
Let's do ours first. What's your biggest gaming disappointment? I know mine straight away.
What is it?
But like I begged and begged I was really into fighting games when I was a kid, and I begged and begged having a new game was such a huge thing.
Oh, this may be the one I'm thinking of as well.
And I begged her for this thing. She was like, "Are you sure this is the one?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've read loads about it, and like Mean Machine Sega." Like I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be amazing." And you know, my mum was pretty poor, and like spending 40 quid, like that would be the only game I would have until
like
Christmas.
50, 60 quid in those days, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it was. I remember being 45 because I remember like I felt bad about it because. Like my mum like didn't have much money, and she was like, "Are you sure?" Now? And it was just like for her to spend this money, like we would have gone without something, or she would have gone without something for the rest of the month. So I remember it, and it was Eternal Champions on Mega Drive. And I was like, I read the review, and
but to be fair, that was hyped up to shit.
Yeah, like Mean Machine Sega had given it amazing, and like all my friends had been talking about it, and I was going to be the daddy. I got it home, stuck it on, and I was like. That was the first time I remember as a kid, like being able to go, realizing there was shit out there.
No wonder everyone thinks games journalists are crooked. Yeah. For everyone who has a go at us about like giving something like 0.1 more, they don't remember those days. Because my story is similar as well. I had one Christmas and I could choose between one game, and it sounds ridiculous now, but under the incredible amount of hype for N64 fans, this was actually a genuine choice in Christmas 97, I think it was, or 98. Ocarina of Time or Turok 2.
Did you go for Turok 2?
N64 magazine. Now, the reviewer was Tim Weaver for N64 magazine. He's just recently left our company, and I got to work for him for a couple of years, so I abused him about this every day. He reviewed it for them, gave it 95%, and said it was better than GoldenEye. Now, for someone who plays N64, if you say it's better than GoldenEye, you're buying it.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Like it's like when Halo, the first Halo came out on Xbox, and it was like 10 out of 10 in Edge. This is worth buying one for. Right, you just do it. You just buy it, right? Better than GoldenEye. Right, done. Sorry, Zelda. So I went for Turok 2. Man, you should have
you had it on your Christmas morning?
No, I got it just for Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
You must have seen you had to see my face like the afternoon after playing the first like.
Reverse.
God, it's such an
Nintendo
old school
64
style
kid.
game. Those Acclaim games, like the first
Yeah.
level, which takes like 2 hours to get through anyway. It's like it's all right, ramp up, yeah. Next one, you're just like in a swamp.
It's a very swampy game, yeah.
Maybe the multiplayer's the bit's better than GoldenEye.
Damn you, Weaver.
That's awesome because that's the thing. Then this is why I was so pissed off about Eternal Champion because I'd made my decision based on this review on this magazine, and then got it home and it's absolute turd.
I like to think if we reviewed Turok 2 today, it'd be at least a 6.
Yeah.
A lot of people love Turok 2. It's not a bad game. It's just it's not 95%, and it's not better than Zelda.
Yeah.
I had to go out. I think I went out that afternoon when I realised my mistake and found a place where I could still rent Ocarina of Time.
Okay, yeah.
And
it's like it reminds me of
to
that Simpsons
this
episode
day,
where
I still have that rental copy of
Really?
Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
you never took it back.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that Simpsons episode where it's either Bone Storm or Lee Carvello's putting challenge. Like, he just gets it. I was like, this is the one that, or the shop clerk said was the one. He opens it. He's like, you got me, Bo. Lee Carvello's putting challenge. It's like, have you ever had that? Have you ever had so my parents bought me, with my PlayStation 1, they bought me Independence Day. That was the only game I had. Like a demo 1 and Independence Day. Played about 10 minutes of Independence Day. I was like, right, Abe's Odyssey demo, come on.
I was always super clear with what I wanted. The worst I would get would be like like I asked for a Mega Drive of Sonic 2 and I got Sonic 1, which is fine. Like I think I asked for a when it was Super NES, I asked for a Donkey Kong Country and I got like Mario All Stars. Still fine. It's not like I got like what's that really shit fighting game that's infamous for being utter shit?
Eternal Champion. Rise of Robots.
Rise of Robots.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were going to say when you
Yeah.
were going through it. So, it's not like I got Rise of the Robots or something.
See, my
like,
stories are a
thanks,
little
man.
more malicious. Like when I asked for my dad, like if I asked my mum and dad for something, my dad would be like, how does he have the fucking nerve to ask for something that costs this much? And then he'll teach me a lesson. Like I asked for a Game Boy when the first original Game Boy came out, and I asked for ages, and he was like, what is this Game Boy thing? I explained it to him, and he looked at the price, and I should have known when he saw the price that something was up, because he looked at the price and then looked at me,
Shot you.
and then looked down again, and then he goes, all right then, I'll get you a Game Boy. And that's when I should have known something bad is about to happen. So my birthday comes, and I open up this massive box, which was probably perfect size, just big enough to trick me.
It's two twigs in it.
Inside was this Game Boy keyring that doubles up as a Viewmaster. So you look through it.
That's evil.
You look through it, and it's got tiny little like periscope thing. You look into it, and it's got pictures of the games that are on Game Boy, and you press the button, and it changes the picture. And he goes, "There's your Game Boy." Never asked again for anything. Ever.
That's mad.
My parents once saved me with an upgrade. Actually, now that I'm thinking, I asked for Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
Yeah.
You know, the really crap single player. Yeah, they got me Mortal Kombat Trilogy. That's better.
Yeah.
Mike Jackson, that happened to Mike. Something like that happened to Mike Jackson once. He got an accidental bonus that he asked for. He asked for Donkey Kong Land on the Game Boy, which is the kind of dodgy port of the SNES, Donkey Kong Country, and instead he got the other Donkey Kong, which was a really fucking awesome one. Like
94.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, fair enough. You got me the wrong thing, but all
Good
right.
job, Dad.
What's
Twitter saying?
So Twitter, we've got.
Someone had a really good shout on there. Someone said Assassin's Creed 3.
That is a very good one.
Do you know what mine South Park Chef's Love Shack? Don't know why I thought that would be good.
I never bought that.
Samuel Worthington says the PSP, which is a bit harsh. I think that's a bit harsh.
Yeah, that is
But
harsh.
but
Are there any
harsh.
non-ridiculous answers?
And he said Perfect Dark Zero. It's fair enough.
Yeah, everyone was expecting that to be bollocks.
Phoenix DK says Soul Calibur Legends. Whatever.
Oh, it's the Wii one. Wasn't it?
Metroid Other M.
Yeah.
No, but all of these, are there no, like, I mean, stuff like this, I suppose the internet has ruined this.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, the games we're talking about,
Yeah.
we genuinely would have gone in, like, expecting them to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
A lot of these games, it'd be like, if someone was expecting Metroid Other M to be awesome, you'd say they're a bit naive.
Why not with that Phoenix DK?
But no, I
person
don't know
said
though, because it's a
Resident Evil
Metroid
5.
game, and you think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Like I bought Alone in the Dark on the Wii.
It's being
That is
created by
awful.
Team Ninja.
Yeah,
Well, Team Ninja make good games.
Good games that are nothing like Metroid.
Yeah.
It's
Tell
like
you
if I
what- tell you
got
what
Fire
genre-
Axis to make
Tell you what
Halo.
genre consistently disappointed me, and you
Sonic.
No,
The Sonic genre.
You laugh at this because you didn't have the same mindset as me, but wrestling games, like when you're a proper wrestling obsessive, when WWF Attitude came out and IGN hyped the shit out of it for months. A new wrestler every single day. Here's a new wrestler, and I couldn't. There was no game in the world I was more excited about.
Scullion couldn't move for his excitement.
And it
Paralysed with
and it finally turned up. Even
rigor mortis.
even the website I ordered it from was like early days internet shopping. It was fucking like 3 weeks late. It finally turned up, and it was dog shit. Like from start to finish, it was one of the worst. Just almost that Royal Rumble and the Dreamcast, another disappointment. Every fucking wrestling game.
Last
else
good
is there to
wrestling
say?
game was Saturday Night Slam Masters. Carl Weller says, oh wait, he says the new Eminem album. That'll count.
Oh, Carl.
Sonic,
To be fair, that was quite
yeah,
disappointing.
that was awful. Sonic 06,
Yeah,
Skyward Sword.
No.
I agree with that.
That's bollocks.
it's not that biggest
could be a
disappointment
fair
The
ever.
thing about
shout.
Skyward Sword is its main theme.
It's disappointing.
Biggest
man.
disappointment ever, though.
That's mad.
I wouldn't say it was disappointment. I'd say it's weaker
Yeah.
than the
Slightly.
other Zeldas.
That's fine.
I
It's not,
wouldn't
not
get
your
it and go,
biggest
what
disappointment.
the hell is this?
It's no Eternal Champion, is it? Like,
No.
This is kind of a good one, but most people with any sort of sense would sniff it out and be like, this is definitely shit. 007 Legends by Eurocom.
yeah, that's pretty
They,
bad.
it was a disappointment, but they hyped it up in the same way that.
Oh man,
they
the
did-
golden, like the
That
new
was the one you-
GoldenEye game, like
Yeah.
that was.
007 Legends, that was the one you had to pay for the last level. Because because I'm pretty sure that because it starts with Skyfall, and it starts with him like falling off the train at the start of Skyfall, and as he's falling off the train, he's reminiscing all the different James Bond movies and all the stages and all the
Got a little
stages
think about
and-
all of my adventures.
and all the stages are like based on old James Bond movies. And I'm pretty sure the last level was Skyfall, but Skyfall hadn't come out when the game came out, so you had to then buy the Skyfall level later on as the last level of the
But
game.
Eurocom also made the GoldenEye game, which was hot trash.
Yeah,
It was
that was
so
that's
bad.
the thing, and that is a game that was hyped.
Yeah,
and
that was
everyone
hyped.
getting on
Again,
board
I
with,
would
yeah.
call naive on anyone who looked forward
Yeah,
to
that's
that
what I said.
because, and I hope they're not listening. Eurocom have never made a good game.
Damn.
Bold words.
Simon Marshall says Dead Space 3. And
Yeah.
Andy's like,
I would never have thought that would be good though.
Didn't Eurocom do
Andy
Dead
loves
Space?
it.
Do you?
No, I don't love it. It's the only one I've not really played through.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I agree with what I read his
Didn't
message
want it.
on there, and he said the concept was very muddled and mixed, and I agree with that. It's not very clear what it wants to be.
Exactly. That's why I wouldn't go near it.
But again, I don't know how many people were perhaps expecting them to fall on the sword on that one. As soon as they
Yeah.
announced it and went, hey, you're shooting dudes and you've got a mate with you.
Couldn't
yeah,
give
it's
a
going to be a
shit.
bit rubbish.
Yeah, that's not what Dead Space is about. is it,
Colonial
at all?
Marines
Like,
is probably a good shout.
Yes.
Didn't
Colonial- that's a
Eurocom?
good
Didn't
one, yeah.
Eurocom make Dead Space Extraction? Was that Eurocom?
I'm not sure.
I don't know
Might
if I
have
just
been,
completely made
'cause
that
that
up.
if
All
they
right,
If you
they
know.
did make a good game then.
I know. I think
I think they did. Yeah, they did do that. Yeah,
The majority of people on
it's
Twitter are
great,
just like naive or just
they're just trolling. us.
silly. Yeah.
Thanks,
Like, one
guys.
one
We
guy
tried for a
said-
constructive discussion,
Yeah.
and you're just on there
One
going,
guy
no,
said-
It's
Xbox
ruined the
One.
podcast.
Walking Dead.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yeah, the
Who said
other
that?
one.
Tim
Ban 'em.
Rosensky.
Ban 'em.
It might be the
He's-
other.
I think he's
it might be
talking
the other
about-
one.
No, he said everyone else hyped it. I still
Oh,
regret
the-
buying
the
it.
good one.
Every Final Fantasy game from 10 to, that is legit. X-Men Destiny. That's made by Silicon Knights. Like, the moment you see that logo, you're out. That's it.
X-Men Destiny is really
I
bad.
played that game start to finish, and it was
Yeah.
one of the most
Why?
dire experiences. I had to review it.
Ah, okay, that's fine.
Explains it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty bad.
But then
There's
that's
gotta
the
be-
thing. As you said, now in the age of the internet, like,
Yeah, you kind
you've
of
got to
know
be
with
a special kind
Alien
of idiot
Colonial
to-
Marines is probably one of the rare examples of where people didn't really know that it was rubbish.
Mm.
They wanted to believe as well.
It was because the blackout, the information blackout.
Yeah.
People didn't. You genuinely could have gone and bought that game the day it came out and gone,
also-
what the hell is this?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, it did really well. Like, it sold ridiculously well. Like, it was like number one for a couple of weeks. Like,
I
it
think
was particularly
Gearbox,
quite a
Gearbox
bit,
were
but-
cheeky and they kind of parlayed the quality and the success of Borderlands onto that because they had just done Borderlands 2 and that was an awesome game and everyone was loving it. And they're like, we've also got this game.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah.
why the upcoming one is more promising because they're. I think they said a couple of days ago they're going to let the public play it at
Yeah,
some
it's
gaming
gonna be
event
a-
coming
it's
up,
gonna
which
be
is
a
which is
rest,
a,
yeah.
which is a-
I'm going to win this
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
When I was a young boy, and again, it was another situation where I had one game to pick. I think it was my birthday. And I went into Toys R Us, looked at the boxes, and it was Mario World. Like it's about, Yoshi, Happy Yoshi. I was so excited. Like at the counter, I couldn't wait to get it home, plugged it in.
Yeah.
It wasn't Mario World. It was Mario and Yoshi,
Oh.
which is like a Tetris clone with Yoshi standing next to the blocks.
Did you cry?
No, I
I
played
thought
it.
you were going to say something interesting about
I played
Alien
it-
Isolation.
I
Then.
played it for a couple of hours to convince myself that it didn't unlock Mario World.
When my younger brother, my younger brother was even younger, like a kid, he was. We had a Woolworths around the corner. And it was his birthday, and he wanted to buy a game, and gave him the money and sent him on his way and said, "Get whatever you want." And in my brain, I was like, he's seen me play enough good games that I trust his judgment. He's gonna come back with something half decent or something cool, and a decent game. He came back with fucking Shadow the Hedgehog. And I just looked at him and I just like shaking my head like.
Was he like, yeah, dude, this looks pretty.
He's like, it's Sonic with guns.
But the
I was
thing, like
you
going back
moron.
to Colonial Marines, though, that is the thing, because like it was hyped like it was going to be amazing. It looked like they were really into it. But then we should have seen, there was loads of alarm bells that everyone should have seen. Like I remember going out to New York to play it, to be the very first people in the world to play it. And we got to New York, and it was an awesome trip because we went to Comic-Con and stuff like that. But then we got there to the event to play it, and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you can't play it." It's like, what? It's like, oh, you can play the multiplayer, but you can't play the single player. It's like, no. We were specifically brought here to play the single player. No, it's not ready. So you can watch it do play.
That's probably a unique bit of insight that we get, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's probably easy to forget what it... Well, it isn't, because
Yeah.
we've been talking about it for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's different for us now because we get more insight into the game's development and seeing whether it looks a bit rubbish or not.
Yeah.
Rather than just getting the box on the day like
Well, I remember
everyone else.
playing the multiplayer like in this event that they like organized, and it was amazing. They had like props from the movie and stuff like that, and they had this like DJ who was a famous DJ. I don't know who he was.
Tiesto.
Like just absolutely just like
always
playing this
Tiesto.
really loud, awesome music. And there was like a cocktail bar,
Yeah,
and like
definitely Tiesto.
so there was loads of US journalists just getting it off their face. Like all the UK journalists are like started feeling bad. We're like, right, we haven't done a stitch of work. Let's all have a massive go on this multiplayer. So we all sat down to play, like with a headset. But then you've got Tiesto. It wasn't Tiesto, but just like blasting this like rave music, and you're like trying to listen for an alien walking across the thing, and you just got in your head. It's like
Wop, wop, wop.
Yeah, that's not really a fair representation of the multiplayer.
Your
isn't it?
your story of going into the shop and buying Mario and Yoshi just dug up a memory for me which I'd blanked out.
It's not like a molesting
No.
memory, is it?
Where did
Not
Yoshi
quite.
touch you?
Yeah, not quite. I think it was a birthday, and my brother and me were both allowed to go to the second-hand game shop in Glasgow and pick a game each.
Living the dream.
No, exactly. Party time. It's like Willy Wonka stuff.
Stay away from the
went
new
there, right?
section.
So
The
we
second-hand
each
game
picked. No, listen. Glasgow days. So he picked Starwing on his SNES, right, which was a very
Well done.
acceptable purchase, and I picked Ryan Giggs Football on the Mega Drive, which is atrocious.
Why?
I don't know. For some reason, it's some.
There's never been like Alex Ferguson manager and stuff like that. There's
No,
never been a
I've
good
no
licensed
idea.
game, has there?
I had the worst
Like
penalty
football.
shootouts in
Kamara.
any game. You
David
couldn't
Beckham
see-
football?
What?
What
It's
was
the
that?
David Beckham game on
Can
the
you, man?
first PlayStation.
Yeah, that's
Really?
right.
I don't
Was it
remember
Chris
that.
Kamara Street Soccer or something like that?
Oh, Jonah Luma Rugby is actually generally amazing. Like the Mega Drive game. That was
Yeah.
really good.
Oh,
Madden
Michael
NFL's
Owen-
not bad.
Michael
Yeah,
Owen
that's
was
pretty good.
Michael Owen had one, didn't he?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Michael Owen did it.
I've only
Yeah.
ever bought 2 football games in my life. One was Three Lions for the PlayStation,
Nice.
which was horrible, and the other one was Mega Drive.
Were you buying that like to try and get into the country?
Yeah, I was
You're just
like,
like,
let me-
yeah, I'm England through and through. Look at me. Love all that soccer.
I genuinely bought that because it was my brain thinking was, look, I've been trying to get into football for ages. None of my friends, no one in my school wants to talk to me because I don't know about football. So I'm going to learn about football, but I'm going to do it through a medium I understand.
Okay, that's
So I
good.
went and bought that thing. No, not having it. The other one was on Mega Drive. I think it was World Cup Italia 90.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the best
which
Which
was
was
music ever.
amazing.
Yeah.
That was
Like-
top down, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the ball sounded like it was flat the entire
Yeah.
time. Just kicking
We do a
around.
slide tag. We did a slide tag. We go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting slid halfway across the
We
pitch.
Awesome
played
music.
we played ISS 64.
That's good. Still
again
good.
quite recently. Like it's the first time I played it in like 15 years, genuinely. And the game was like 42, like 57 or something. It's ridiculous.
Awesome.
Go.
It
go.
had the best commentary ever, though. What was it?
There was a point in
Fresh
an
blood. It's coming in. Have you made it?
there was an ISS game on Xbox. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the last one before it turned into Pro Evo. And
Yeah.
there was a point where if you played a match for long enough, the commentators would stop commentating and just make grunting sounds. It took ages, and it would just be like, that was it. I think the sound files just fucked up or something.
That's weird.
See if you go back, this is like proper nerdy stuff. See if you find the instruction manual for goal on the NES, right? And the manual had like a tips thing in the back of it, and it says, "Don't pass the ball." And basically saying passing's broken in this game, just hit fucking long balls because our game is so shit we can't even get
There's
the
a football
passing
game
right.
called
That
Red Card as well. Didn't anyone ever play that?
Yeah, you
it's all
could
about
proper-
fouling.
Oh,
and
fuck that.
kick
stuff
people
like
in the
that.
head.
It's like
and
a
all
hockey game turned into a football game.
that was brilliant.
But yeah, that's
So
Wow.
we talked about biggest disappointments. Are there any games that you thought were rubbish that turned out to be brilliant?
I went in expecting Batman to be rubbish,
Really?
but yeah, after years of having shitty Batman
Okay.
games,
Yeah.
Batman Arkham Asylum.
That's
went
fair.
in there.
Yeah, that's a fair enough point, I guess.
FIFA 11.
Resident Evil 4.
What
Mm.
4?
Yeah.
You thought Resident Evil 4? Oh right, you thought
thought-
it was shit. It was gonna be shit, and it came out
Yeah.
good. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nah,
That's good.
yeah, Resident Evil 4 kind of blindsided me. I
It blindsided everyone. It
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
It's amazing, yeah.
I think
Wow.
there were games which like
I think it actually might be my favorite game
ever.
It's so good.
ever, yeah.
There was a period where Prototype and Infamous were coming out at the same time,
Fuck those games,
and
man.
and I had to pick one between one or the other, and
I picked death.
I picked at the time I thought, oh shit, I picked Infamous, and I thought, oh man, I think I picked the wrong game. Prototype looks cool because by the Hulk guys.
yeah.
No, turned out Prototype was absolute garbage. Darksiders.
Yeah, no, hang on. Whoa. Infamous is not a good game.
Infamous is a very good game. Shut your fucking mouth.
Infamous gets a free pass, man.
Shut
It's
up.
so boring. Like, it's just the
Whatever,
same
man.
thing
Go
over and
make-
over
You
again.
don't know anything about games, really. You just make videos. Like,
It's so boring. It's just the same thing over and over again. Just like, go kill this
I'm not-
dude.
I'm not
Go do
even
his
gonna-
fetch
I'm not
quest.
even gonna
You don't know what you're
discuss
talking about.
that.
Silent Hill.
Darksiders.
Silent Hill
Darksiders.
was dead to me when Shattered Memories came out on Wii, and I
Such a
thought I
cunt,
can't give. I thought I could not give an eighth of a fuck about this game. And Silent Hill Shattered Memories was the one I expected to be dog shit, and it was
That was really
amazing.
good,
It was
yeah.
an amazing game.
Darksiders. I said it a bunch of times. I thought that was.
Can we have the C word in the podcast? This is
Not
what
really.
No.
I'll bleep it. It's fine.
This is what happens when you disagree with Tamoor. He turns into a
the
5-year-old.
When you
C
talk
button.
bullshit.
All right, let's wrap this up then.
Yeah.
For
we've
Tamoor,
got stuff to do.
loser.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Please subscribe to us on iTunes. We need positive reinforcement. You can follow us on Twitter.
Give us some good responses next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bunch
it
of
up.
trolls.
Review us on iTunes as well with good reviews. Follow us on Twitter. We're at CVG_news. Our personal accounts are at TamoorH. Andy is.
SBO1.
Chris is.
Scully 1888.
Nobody cares about Gav.
Camera Gav. I got more followers than you, dude.
Do you? Let's not do this. Hip Hop Gamer follows me, so eat it.
Well.
You can find us at computerandvideogames.com.
This has gone on too long.
And cvg.co.uk.